we didn't get on the water today, but we are going to do a full kayak review, walkthrough, whatever you want to call it, of my Native Titan 12. Just a quick background on the Native Titan that I run. It's a 2019 model. I believe it is Lizard Lick green. So we'll run through everything from what I like, what I'm running, and then finally we'll run through what I don't like and modifications to fix that. So right up here in the bow, you know, Native has got a kind of a different style handle here. Makes it a little difficult, in my opinion, to move this big kayak around. So I went with the red one handle. Again, I'll link everything down below, but I highly recommend getting this. I also recommend, as you can see here, I had a little holder right here. It fell off after, I think, some travel and transport. But get yourself a handle so you can lock it in right here, so you kind of have something to keep this stable. What ends up happening is if it ends up doing this, you're making a lot of noise. If you're trying to be stealthy when you're fishing, then you're kind of announcing your arrival with this thing banging on the hull of the kayak. Let's move on to the bow. And really specifically bow mount storage. So the Titan comes with no bow mount storage tub. I bought this. This is from Titan. You can purchase it from them. And in here you can see I have just kind of an array of different things. You know, I have a line bag, I have an extra parts bag, first aid kit. I got my power unit that's going to power up all my lighting and electronics, as well as my GoPros all day long. But one thing I want to really stress on this is, if you can see, I got Gorilla Tape going around this whole thing right here. The reason is when you put the Native Titan tub in, you know, before, when there is no tub, this gasket right here takes care of almost everything, right? You get a clean seal. What that's going to do, the water is going to run down here, it's going to run out here and down to wherever your scuppers are, whether you have them in or out. When you put the tub in, specifically in these areas, you can kind of see, I got the Gorilla Tape, but there is a gap right here. This is the actual opening for the Titan, and this is the top of the tub. So you have this gap that gets bigger as you go towards the middle and smaller as you go towards the ends here. It's flush right on this end, it's flush over here, and then this middle part right here and right here, it is the biggest gap. So that creates an issue when you get water over, and even if you have this hatch on right here, you're going to get water that goes into your hole. And again, guys, that is a safety issue. I would highly recommend doing this modification. Beneath this tape here, and this is just Gorilla Tape, I have a rubber gasket that just got adhesive on it. It's stuck to both the tub and to the edge of the opening. Trust me, guys, it is not something that you want to deal with out on the water, is having water in your hole. It creates a huge stability issue, and if you're in foul weather, really, it's horrible. You could end up sinking your boat. Moving on to the pedal drive section right here. I haven't done a whole lot with this pedal drive. I do maintain it on a yearly basis, but I have these aftermarket pedals here, and again, this allows you to have an aggressive bite on one side when you're wearing your NRS boots or whatever boots you wear during the winter, or if you wear them during the summer, it gives you a better grip. And then, like me, sometimes during the summer I like to fish barefoot. This prevents this discomfort from these more aggressive grip to something that's flat and easy to deal with. So again, highly recommend getting that. That's kind of a common thing with the Titans. The other thing is this Yak Attack attachment right here. Again, I'll link this in the bottom, but I like to put this up on the front. It allows me to put in my net, the handle of my net. It's right there. Whenever I'm fishing, I can grab it pretty easily and land the fish. You can see right here, there's not a whole lot that I've done to this, other than, you know, underneath this section there is a gasket. I try and replace it on a yearly basis. You can get water if you don't put the straps down while you're running. You'll get water into the kayak. Moving on to the seat and under seat storage. You can kind of see I got quite a bit going on here, but this is a Craftsman product right here. It's two drawers, locking drawers. They're not going to come out. You got to give them a little bit of a tug to get them out. They do have a little handle underneath here, so that's good. And then this is just my junk drawer, really. I throw whatever as I'm fishing. I probably got a couple months worth of stuff in there. I put some terminal tackle in here that I want to have readily available. And again, this is all customizable, guys. These little dividers right here will go horizontal, transverse, and longitudinally in this this drawer, so you can take them out and put them back in however way you like. Got a little snack underneath there. This is one of the things that I would fix, is you can tell that you kind of get a little bit of a it prevents you from opening it up completely. Native makes this kind of awesome little storage unit on the side. The only thing is I tend to get water in there, so you know, you need to take these out, set them up here or outside to dry off after every single trip, just in case you get water in there. So in the back, this is kind of just my tray with everything in it, right? I got a baler, radio. I put my snacks back here. I also put some waters back here if I am bringing water, which you always should. So now the seat portion of this, which is kind of neat. I don't have any issues with the seat here. I got a little lumbar support. Again, guys, we're fishing all day sitting down. I know some guys like to stand up a lot, but in foul weather, or even when you get a little chop on the water, you're having to control your kayak with your feet. So do yourself a favor, get a lumbar support. This is super simple, super cheap, and it does give you a little bit more comfort. Moving on towards the stern of the boat of the kayak, Boondocks landing gear. These are the newer ones, kind of with like the C-Tug wheels. I've had both models. I love these style wheels a whole lot better. They don't float, they're easy. If you want to put this system on, you know, take this and pull this out when you're getting close to the ramp and put them in like that. These wheels right here you have no issue doing so. So again, Boondock system is a must. I'll give you guys both views of it and what it looks like. I try and mount it as close as I can to this handhold right here. It gives you more room in the back half of the kayak. You know, you're not going to push your battery and your tackle trunk farther back, and it also kind of gives you a better kind of center weight distribution when you're moving this thing around. And again, this is a must-have in my opinion on a kayak this size. I mean, you're talking a 12-foot kayak fully loaded down, and to lug this thing up and down boat ramps, to beach launch it without this gear on there, you just have a positive connection to the kayak, and really it's never failed me. I've got this thing loaded down with a ton of gear, no issues. Okay, let's talk tackle storage. Been through a couple different tackle boxes, or tackle storage boxes for kayaks. I started out with the original Black Pack Pro. The original one was a little bit smaller than this one. This one is the 16 by 16. It's the newest version out there. You know, again, I have some 3700s. These are kind of old school. I got a smaller terminal tackle one. What I do is I slide that right underneath in here, fits perfect. And then again, these were on sale. These are great. I feel like they fit perfect for you know, soft plastic bags, the KVD Planos. I believe they're on sale at Tackle Warehouse, but those pretty much fit. I can fit 3 of them right in here. I can fit 4 of the 3700s in here. No issues at all. And again, this thing gives you the opportunity to add on a bunch of different options. These are tackle and rod storage. I have these Yak Attack rod holders. I have 3 of them. These are really tournament day. If I want to take 9, 10 rods with me, it allows me to add on some extra rod holders without congesting my black pack. Okay, so I've gone with the Burley Pro cover plate and steering handle combination. Again, like Next Level makes a great one. Stock, this cover plate comes plastic. The problem is if you're going to do an extension and get this steering handle up any higher and you have that plastic cover, it eventually just cracks because of the torque that you're putting. You know, as you go higher, you're putting more torque on this cover plate. So again, Next Level, nothing wrong with them. I ran Next Level handles. I just couldn't find a cover plate to go with it at the time. I know they do have some options out there, and I think it's a guy in Texas makes them. But Burley Pro, got this off of Amazon, and I've never really looked back. This thing is perfect in my mind. It's the gears in it are perfect. I have no issue with it anymore. I can steer perfectly fine, and I don't really mind the height on this. I think this is perfect right here. And in the back, we have upgraded to the Burley Pro steering system. Got rid of the cables. Again, these are like kind of standard things that come were 2019 problems that a lot of people fixed. And then moving down to the rudder, I have the Boondocks Rudder. Got a little bit of Gorilla Tape down here to help out with some just wear and tear on the skeg. And overall, again, this is a metal rudder. It replaces the plastic rudder that came with the 2019. And you know, like I said, I'm running that Newport 180, and I use this to steer it. So this thing's beefy. It's beefy enough it can handle the torque when I'm going, you know, 4.5 to 4.8 miles an hour. All right, guys, I'm gonna try and lump in all the electronics together just because I feel it's important to talk about them all together in one bunch, and then we'll move on to the motor. Okay guys, I power everything from this central unit right here. Again, this is a Pelican Vault that I got for the casing. These are just basic Amazon you know, lithium ion batteries that I've wired all together, 12 amp. Okay guys, so as far as my lights go, this one doesn't really do anything. This one is for the lights up front. Again, if you're running a motor, this is a must. Again, that's just from the switch of a button. These are all LED lights controlled right here. And then this control panel that you see right here, again, I got this from a guy down in Southern California. He already put this all together as an electrician. You have 2 USB ports here. You have a 12-volt battery charger right here, which, you know, you can plug in something in there and make more USB ports if you need to. This is the power for these USB plugs and for the 12-volt. Again, this powers this Yak Attack boomstick, which I'm using for this video right now. But now this button right here turns on these LED lights that go around. And again, the green light's a little bit softer. It's going to make it easier to tie stuff up, and it's not as bright as the white lights. Okay guys, then moving on to units, we're running the Lowrance Elite TI. Again, this is with structure scan, and we are running it off a Yak Attack mount. I'll just flip this around real quick, take that off. Again, this mount is perfect. I can move it down here. I can completely take it off this way. I can move it around by pressing this button in right here and turning. We got a Hobie through hole right here that is going to run all the power off our power unit up here with the lithium ion batteries. We've wired it through the hole, comes out over there, pops out, goes to our Lowrance unit right there, and then it also powers those USB cords or plugs, 12 volt, and all the lighting that you see in here. And then right here in particular, we have another Hobie through hole that is going to link our structure scan to our unit over there. And you'll see underneath here, that is where we've mounted the structure scan. I never have any issues with that dragging. It is almost in the perfect spot. And I'm not going to go too much into how I put it together and did everything, because Mobbin Outdoors has a great video on that. Go check his channel out. It's just going to be the same thing I'm going to tell you, because I followed it to a T. So, all right, moving on. Newport Vessels Kayak Motors. That's what we got on here. I've been running this almost since they came out. This is the NK180S. I run it fixed, and I run it off a BioEno 24 volt 50 amp hour battery. Again, I have a pulley system kind of set up here. You can see it goes up to the front, allows me to kick it down and kick it back up. This is only from point to point A to point B. This is not a trolling type motor where I'm fishing while this is running. Again, quick disconnect is a must. And I know a lot of people like to put the battery in an enclosure because of just concerns. This thing is sealed. I've never had any issues. I've gone fishing with it in the rain. I cover this up with some Gorilla Tape. Charges fully. Never have any issues with it. So guys, again, it's just personal preference. But I never had any issues with it. And again, quick disconnect. This is going to be an extra that you have to buy through Newport. Go ahead and purchase it. I think it's like 40 bucks, but it's well worth your time. So, all right. So in order to get it to go down, just release that. I have this set on this setting right here for the motor. Again, I've just found it gives me a little bit better speed on it. I'm not really sure why, but again, that's just personal preference. I got no rock guard. I did get a hydrofoil for it, and I haven't put it on yet. I'll link that in the description down below so you guys can check that out as well. But again, this is fixed. Newport will send you a tiny little pin to put in here. Well, this is fixed, so it won't go left or right on you. I replaced that with a longer, just galvanized nail. Might be a little oaky, but it does the trick. And I have plenty of these that I can use. So again, I've controlled the whole thing with the Yak Attack mount for the Newport Vessel control throttle. I have this all done. You can see underneath here, this is, it's even hard to get off right now, but the alternative to screwing it in was Velcro, and that Velcro works amazing. All right guys, now that we've kind of done just a basic walkthrough, I'm just going to go through a few things that I didn't like about the kayak and how I fixed them. So one of the things that was a major problem, underneath here and going to this Boondocks Rudder up through the kayak, we were getting a lot of water that would come up through there and onto the deck. And of course, just hydrostatically, it's not going to sink the kayak. But what you need to do is you need to contact Native or contact your local Native dealer and get a foam gasket that goes, essentially it goes over the top of the Boondocks Rudder or the Native Titan Rudder. And what that does is that prevents water from getting in. Went down to Kayak City, got the gasket or the foam block, put it on that day, went fishing the next day, no issues. So again, you need to do that unless you want water on the deck here. And again, Mobbin Outdoors, I don't know Marvin personally, but I've looked at a lot of his videos, great how-to videos. He's got one on that too. We've already been through it, but this right here, I think it's kind of a bummer that it doesn't come with the tub stock, and then when you buy it you have water issues. Again guys, seal this up. This is just simple Gorilla Tape. This is a simple fix, get it done. If you're having issues, you don't want water going into the hole. I personally almost sank this kayak almost a year ago because of just a bonehead move. Underneath this Yak Attack is a hatch. It's a circular hatch just like every other kayak has, in some different shape or form. But seal that hatch up. You know, if it's been a couple years, go in, scrape it off with a razor blade, get some sealant, and I'll link a sealant down below that I use, that Kayak City recommended that I use, and just maintain the kayak, because the points where water can get in are just really the main concerns. So other than that, overall this is an awesome kayak. I love this kayak. It's done everything that I needed it to. It's got a lot of different options to customize it. Yak Attack makes a ton of cool accessories for this thing, and overall for my first real big tournament style kayak, it has been great. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I will try and get back to you guys as fast as I can. Once again guys, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I love doing this, making these videos for you guys, and as always, tight lines, and we'll see you out on the water.